You were nicer in Rayman 2. Hello everyone, Artemu the Violet Wizard here, and today we are continuing Rayman Origins. Last time we got started on our adventure because Rayman and his friends were snoring too loud, I guess, and that really ticked off the monsters living in the land of the Livid Dead, and so they've now invaded the Glade of Dreams and are causing havoc. So it's up to Rayman and his friends in order to set things right. So yeah, we had a pretty good first session, all things considered, playing as our favorite limbless hero here, Rayman. And for this session, I thought we could play as a new character for today. So we're going to be spending this session as Glowbox, Rayman's best friend. The one and only Glowbox, biggest glued in the Glade. Again, sounds like he's saying I have a fat ass. Alright, so let's get moving as the big frog guy. So we managed to clear up the gibberish jungle in the last session. Though there is still some things that we could go back and try to do here at a later time, but we don't need to worry about that at the moment. So we'll be heading off to the second world of the game, the Desert of Didgeridoos. For those that don't know, I believe didgeridoos are an aboriginal instrument used by people in Australia way back in the day. Although I think some people still play them at this day and age. They're just not as common. It's pretty interesting having that thing referenced here. But yeah, let's head off to the first world of this area. Crazy Bouncing. Definitely got ourselves an interesting place for us to begin this next leg of our journey. Oh, we got the magician here. Say what you have to say. Stop the silliness! Don't get bubble-ized before your time! Take hearts! Share the love! Extra hearts go to your friends! Nobody needs love? Extra hearts give extra lums! Don't get crushed! Even a heart can't save you! A fool's quest! Ah, Lums, more Lums! So I forgot to mention this in the last session, but anytime a character like Palakis or the Magician speaks, they're actually speaking Pig Latin, which is quite the interesting little distinction we have there. So yep, we head off into the Desert of Didgeridoos here. So this is both a desert area, but it's also themed around music, as we're going to be seeing all throughout this area. We've got these big drum platforms that we can go on, and you're actually able to bounce pretty high on these if you do a ground pound, allowing you to get up to some secrets, enabling us to grab that coin. And yeah, you're able to get some really good distance by bouncing on these drums. Definitely very cool. So yeah, definitely want to make as much use of your ability to jump here as you can. I want to watch out for that scratchy part of the wire there, because that's obviously going to hurt you. But yeah, like the Magician said, you want to grab hearts as you're going through these levels, because they'll give you an extra hit. So otherwise, you're going to be taking some unnecessary damage throughout these areas. Right, so want to be careful here so we don't hit that and get unnecessary damage on us. But yeah, just like the last areas we were exploring, we're going to want to go through these areas and collect not only as many Lums as we can, but also try to grab all these secret Electoons that are going to be hidden all throughout this area. Which is definitely going to take a while for us to do, but we should be fine. Ooh. And while we're going through here, why don't we talk a bit more about Glowbox, since he is one of the major playable characters in this game. So Glowbox was originally from Rayman 2: The Great Escape. It's introduced in that game as being Rayman's best friend and a pretty important figure with the rebellion against the robots, due to Glowbox having the innate ability to summon rain clouds, which is definitely an interesting ability that helps against the pirates a few times. Though, Glowbox can also be a little cowardly at times, and he's naturally very afraid of the pirates. There's one level in particular where you have to escort Glowbox through the stage, and anytime there was a moment where the pirates would show up, you would have to go back in order to get Glowbox. Just so you can move on. So this part is a bit interesting. We got these wires here that we're able to... we're able to get those to settle, allowing us to grab all of those Lums up there. But yeah, Glowbox is definitely a pretty interesting character in the series. He's been in a lot of games since his debut. And I would definitely say his biggest role is in Rayman Free, as in that game, he is with Rayman for a huge portion of the main story, after he accidentally ends up swallowing the main villain, Andre. And so a good chunk of the adventure is spent trying to find a doctor to be able to help remove Andre from Glowbox's stomach, thus enabling us to figure out a way to defeat the evil fly and put an end to the hoodlum's rampage. And in that game, Glowbox also had the distinction of being voiced by actor John Leguizamo, who most people would know for his role as Sid the Sloth in the Ice Age movies. And his performance in Rayman Free is very similar to his acting for Sid. I want out! Oh no, we got another nymph that has been swallowed up by a dark toon. So we just gotta chase after this brute and rescue her. Definitely want to be careful around here, because we also have Lums we can collect along the way. Whoa. Go up here and grab this coin. Oh. Okay, that's disappointing. So, yeah. We did not exactly time that right, and we ended up getting squished. So I definitely don't want to miss that coin, so we're going to have to double back to get this thing. Sorry, can we grab these Lums, please? So I really don't want to miss too much, and oh, yeah, messed up there. Sometimes the controls of this game can be a little unruly, but now we shouldn't have to worry too much. Just a few moments you do want to watch out for. Boing. Whee! Okay, so we want to jump up there, grab the coin, and then move. Squash these birds. Grab those Lums there. Ow. Alright, we are almost done here, I believe. Just jump up here. We beat that guy. Power to fly! So now we get granted what's easily one of the best abilities in this game. Because now we have the ability to hover in the air, which is definitely very useful. And a trademark ability with Rayman and his friends. It's definitely going to make platforming in this game a lot easier now that we have the ability to stay in the air longer. That's going to be oh so helpful to us. Also, I like that Glowbox's version of hovering is flapping his arms. So the way that Rayman is able to fly is he spins his hair really quickly like a helicopter, and that's how he's able to hover. And certainly a very useful ability for him. We have seen Rayman showcase this ability in so many different games, and there have been a few times where he's been able to fly indefinitely, but it usually depends on what power he's able to get in a specific area. But also I want to mention that the nymph that we rescued actually has a name. She is known as Hallelujah. which, you know, given this area has a music theme to it, having the nymph being named after a song is very appropriate. Yeah, we managed to save a Hallelujah, and we got ourselves a very good ability as a trade-off for that. So I am quite happy about those results. So I definitely say it'd be a good idea to head back into the previous world that we were in this game, as the hover makes it really easy for you to get certain Lums a lot easier than you would normally. So that's always a nice thing you can always do. Whenever you get a new ability, head back to the earlier levels and see what new things you can discover. Love that big, doofy grin Glowbox has on the victory screen. He's so proud of himself. Alright, we were able to get all of the Electoons in this area, and we also got a medal! Very nice result for our first level in the desert. Definitely very nice to see. Another thing with Glowbox I want to mention is one of his alternate colors that you can get in this game has him with a red body, which I believe is in reference to his wife, Glade, who also appeared in Rayman 2. Though, I don't think she's appeared a great deal in the series afterwards. This is way better than the movies! Leave no stone unturned! You may find hidden cages full of Electoons that need saving. Goody two-shoes. Bubblize all the creatures guarding a cage. Then you'll be able to break it open. Pop those Bubblize baddies and get twice the Lums. Either way, you get Bubblize, or I get more Lums. Everybody wins! Wait, let me get popcorn. So he's definitely very eager to see us collecting Lums here. Just wonder what that's about. I mean, I said before in the lore of the series that the Lums make up the heart of the world, and it takes 1,000 Lums to be able to restore the heart of the world. Though at this point, we definitely have more than enough. So the desert here not only has a music theme to it, but it's also themed around birds, as you can obviously tell. All the different enemies around here that we'll be seeing are going to be avian in nature, and even some of the more helpful things like those platform birds are going to be around to help us. Yeah, I don't believe I'm going to get those guys. Nope, they're gone forever. So yeah, we got these big, I want to say, oboe clarinet things that you can go on, and you can usually activate things by hitting the valves on the instruments. Got some more little dark tunes over here to deal with. Those are another very common enemy type we'll be seeing throughout our adventure. Alright, so we jump up here, we should get another secret. Ooh! Yes, I am going to be making that noise every single time we are going through this game. So over here we got ourselves a bit of a free-falling area. Also, it goes without saying, but this game is such a beautiful art style. Just, the backgrounds that you see in these worlds are so cool. It's like, I love just the giant instruments you see in the background, and how it's implied that some of these instruments could also serve as buildings. Just a really cool set piece to this area. It's very awesome. I don't believe those guys are going to be good if we touch. We hit that valve, that scares them away. And I don't think there's anything else for us there. Alright, so let's move on. So we can hit that valve in order to deal with this. So waking up all of these guys. Woo! Yeah, definitely good to hit those King Lums any chance you get, since those will naturally double the amount of Lums you're able to get here. Not sure if we'll be able to... Yep, we can jump on that guy, getting ourselves a coin. It's a pretty crafty hiding spot for that one. And this part, it's got some more platforms we can jump up here. Grab a coin and get some extra Lums in the process. Very good. Also, being in a desert area also reminded me of how there is a desert level in Rayman Free that is certainly very cool for a number of reasons. Namely because that area is home to this race of creatures known as the Kanaran, which are easily some of the creepiest and just terrifying enemies in the series. Like, my god, those guys are so scary. How you're being chased all through these desert caverns by the Kanaran and just trying to navigate through this area, avoiding getting caught. So, man, that whole area is just so freaky to go through. And when you get to the end and you face the champion of the Kanaran, who is known as Reflux, and afterwards he ends up actually teaming up with Andre and becomes the secondary antagonist of the game. Just, god, I really love Rayman Free. I would really like to play it again sometime. Though, probably not on the channel anytime soon, because I actually don't have a copy of that game anymore. But sometime in the future, I would definitely like to track down a copy. It's a fantastic game, and I'd really love to play it for the channel at some point. I was able to grab that guy over there. Ow! Lost our heart, but we're fine. Woo! Okay, this definitely seems like there's going to be a secret up here. Ooh. Very nice. Some more little birdies we can deal with here in this very shadowy section. Luckily, as long as you pop those guys, you don't have to worry too much. Also, I love this section is in the silhouette of a guitar. That's very clever. Bam. Let's break this cage. Hey, come on. There we go. Sorry, I got big frog hands. They can be hard to control at some point. Before we save those little Electoons, let's get these platforms ready here. We can hit that in order to get these guys over. And we should be pretty close to the end here. Yep, just one more section to deal with. Alright, looks like we're not getting... Yeah, it doesn't look like we have enough Lums to get the big prize. But we still got a good amount of Electoons for that. Very good. Yeah, looked like we were short by one Lum. Oh, that is just sad. Whenever you're playing a game and you are short of being able to achieve something by 1 point, that's always the worst. Check it out, new character unlocked in the Snoring Tree. I'm pretty sure the new one we got is a teensy, so we're not going to worry about that. So we got another chest that we can get over here once we have 45 Electoons. So we got a couple more we got to get here. Let's move on to the next level, win or lose. Alright. See what we got over here. So this area is obviously going to be wind-themed and going to make excellent use of our gliding abilities. We can ride the updrafts here in order to really make some distance. Oh, come on. That's unfortunate that we missed out on that. At least we can grab some of these guys we're going through here, please. about saying, but the music in this game is really darn good. Especially this part. Since this area is obviously themed around music, you usually expect some good stuff. And just all these wind sounds, it's so good. I typically definitely enjoy the soundtracks in the Rayman games. They usually have a lot of just good ambience to them, especially with these kind of areas. And some of the areas can also get really interesting with the music. It's like, as I said before, the desert area in Rayman 3 where you face the Kanaran has some really tense-sounding music as you are being stalked through the caves. We are not doing too well at grabbing those Lums there. We missed out a really good amount of Lums from that mix-up, but we're good. Ooh, another secret. I actually got these guys again. Alright, seems like we're gonna need to hit one of the valves over here. So that blows those guys up and out of here. Now we can hit the chest. Woo! I mean cage. Whatever, it's a box-shaped container used to hold things that we need. At the very least we got those. So now we can move on. Definitely want to grab that heart, because that gets us some extra Lums. Ow! Wow, what a blowhard! Hey, quit it! Let's get rid of these bird brains. God, that a frickin' model of Globox hanging onto a ledge by his teeth. That is a great frickin' visual. So, also just really love the character art and animations as well. This game really, he does a lot of good work with the character designs in a lot of different areas. I think you want to be careful here, because if you get sucked into some of those valves, that will count as a death. So be careful. So we grab those guys. So this part, I believe, want to be careful. Just to, not fail like that. Alright, at least we got a checkpoint here. It's gotta be... Come on! Alright, we got the coin. Let's get out of here. Sounds like there is something else up here. I need to ride the updraft in order to get you. There we go. Ooh. Alright. This part we gotta be careful of the spike birds. Just want to smack that guy, and I totally failed. Don't worry, we got this. Just gotta be careful. Bop you on the head, bop you again. And now we just gotta get over to the chest. Gotta be careful of these spiky birds. I don't know what it is, but this game is also making me get the urge to play Yoshi's Island again. It's one of my favorite games from when I was a kid, and I don't know, there's just something about these old school platformers that definitely gives me an urge to revisit a lot of games that I loved from my past. But yeah, that's definitely another game that I want to stream on the channel at some point. It'll be a very fun time, even with some of the certain aspects about that game that aren't the best, but talk about that in the future when we eventually get around to it on the channel. For now, let's grab all these guys. See if that's just gonna push up there. Let's just head over this way. Grab those Lums. Very good. Then just slide over here to grab this guy. Very nice. Alright, now, I like to consider myself mostly a positive sort of guy, but there is something that's been kind of something that I've been annoyed by pretty recently I just wanted to mention, and that's I've been seeing some clips online of that new Animal Farm movie that apparently came out very recently, and I just have no love for this movie at all. Just from all the things I've seen, it doesn't look like it's up my alley, and it just seems like not a good adaptation of the classic story. So yeah, I'm definitely going to get some enjoyment of watching clips on YouTube and just cringing at how tone-deaf this movie is compared to, like, everything that the original book stood for. With this amount of Lums, I think we are good to get everything we need here. So I love this room where it's just all windy, and so you can just glide indefinitely. Reminds me of this one level in Rayman 2, where you actually gain the ability to fly as much as you want. Only for one level, but, you know, still a very cool moment. Yeah. So now we got a whopping 370 Lums. So yeah, we definitely got enough at this point to make multiple Hearts of the World. At least the Magician's gonna be happy. I don't know what he's gonna be doing with all these Lums, but I guess we'll figure out the answer later. It's another level clear. Yeah, but you can probably tell from my tone here, I'm definitely enjoying the desert much more than I did the jungle. Just getting the ability to hover in the air has been so much fun, and it's been very good for getting past certain hazards. And they found very creative ways of being able to utilize your glide with all these different wind areas. But it's time we move on to a new stage. I just love this more somber atmosphere now that it's all nighttime. So this area is going to be a good one, I can tell. So we got sections where the clouds are falling away, and then we got this big recorder-like snake that we have to ride on through this area. So yeah, definitely mixing up what we have to do in this area quite a bit. We got these sections where we have to ride the... I really don't know what to call this thing. I guess we'll call it the flute snake. I don't know. It's very similar to the snake blocks that you would see in some Mario games. It just has a very similar vibe to it. Okay, looks like those drums aren't gonna crush me. I was a little worried about that over here. Shouldn't have to worry about that, though they can bounce you around a bit. Alright, let's just smack that cage open. Don't worry, guys, you're all safe. All thanks to Glowbox. Alright, you can see over here. Got ourselves some very tight sections over here. So you definitely need to be quick in this level, otherwise you're gonna get left behind by the flute snake, and that is no bueno. Ah, we missed out on so many Lums there. So you definitely gotta be careful. This section can be pretty nasty if you get left behind. Smack that guy. Ooh, we'll grab that in just a moment. Ah, we lost that guy. Nah, don't worry, we'll be fine. This part we got the flute snakes, which are going to be just forming these little squares over here, I guess. So both enabling us to reach, but can also block access to the enemies around here. It's definitely been a cool area so far. I don't know if we'll be able to... Yeah, we didn't get that guy. Yeah, haven't been doing too good at collecting the Lums in this one, but we're trying our best. Trying our best here. Alright, let's move on to this next section. Simply want to be careful over here. Gotta make sure we grab as many Lums as we can, since our access to this area is rather limited. We definitely want to grab the king there. Then we gotta very carefully grab those. I don't believe we're gonna have enough time to grab that coin. Yeah, with a flute over there, I don't think we're going to. Hey, whoop! We got back to you, at least. That's good. Don't know how much... Yeah, I don't know how much farther we got in this level, and for our current Lum totals, we're not doing too hot. Because we missed quite a few Lums in this area. I got another area you gotta watch out for being crushed. Whew. Not for that part. Just smack these birds away. Okay, we're gonna miss that king, which is very bad for us. So we need the Lums here. Woo! Was able to grab that coin. So gotta be very careful. Duck down, and you should be able to avoid a hit. Woo! So that part was tense. Ow! Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get all of the Lums here. It's been a good effort, but at the very least we should have all the Electoons that we can get in this area. Smack those birdies away. And then we just ground pound the chest to break it instantly. Very good. Yeah, that is more than enough to get all the Electoons. We're good here. Though we were off for getting the medal by quite a bit. But don't worry, we'll be fine. So now we dealt with the Skyward Sonata. We can now access the tricky treasure in the desert. Sorry, Holly, we'll talk to you in just a moment. But for now, let's see if we can do the cacophonic chase. Or cacophonic chase. Sorry, that's always a word that I have a hard time figuring out how it's pronounced. Yep, we got ourselves another chase level. Just gotta run after this chest here. And I'm not sure if playing as Glowbox in this level is gonna be optimal. Like, I think compared to him and Rayman, Glowbox is a little bit slower. So we might have to worry about that going through here. So we'll try our best with Glowbox, but yeah, this is... not being too hot. We're not clearing these early jumps very easily. Come on. Yes, I know we can sprint game. I'm well aware of that. Come on. Nope, just short of getting that hand. Yeah. I'm thinking we might want to switch our character at the moment. These levels are pretty intense, and I'm not sure if Glowbox is gonna have the easiest time with this. So let's head to the tree, and we'll play as Rayman Glowbox. Yeah, sure, this is gonna work for us. Whoa, bubble me, Ray! That you? You know, you don't actually pass for Glowbox, right? I talked to Voodoo Mama about reversing that spell. Yeah, sure, whatever you say. Ooh, it looks like one of the next characters we're gonna get is a Princess Teetsy. Alright, just want to remember that for later. Okay, now that we swapped our character, we should be good here. I mean, we're playing as Glowbox in spirit. It looks like Rayman, but trust me. Alright, this time we should have an easier time going through here. Oh, come on! I said we should have an easy time through here. There we go! Finally made it over that jump that screwed me over the last time. So I'm gonna be focusing on just concentrating through here, so commentary is gonna be a bit light at the moment. I think we're already at the end here. Yep, we cornered that big Chester. And we're done. I think we could have done this level as Glowbox, but it would have definitely been tricky. Those levels definitely require a lot more concentration and being able to pull off maneuvers properly. But at the very least, we beat another one of these levels. So that gets us our second Crystal Tooth. Ow! Alright, since we were playing as Glowbox Rayman for a bit, let's switch over to a new skin for Glowbox. We're going to be playing as a red frog. Glowbox? Red? Are you a ghost? Did the Voodoo Mamas find a cure for your blues? Now that you're incognito, go crazy! Let's go Lums chasing when I'm done meditating. So I believe it's actual lore that Glowbox was not originally blue, and that he gained his color after he got stung by mosquitoes after he accidentally ate one. Hooray! So now that we managed to make it all the way to this area, we should have more than enough Electoons to open the path forward. Way to go! You saved enough Electoons to repair the path and reach a new world at last! It's a good thing I've been focusing so hard on collecting these guys. Alright, definitely missing quite a lot of them here, but we should be fine. Our ultimate goal is the Electoons, after all. Oh, the Lums are just a stepping stone to getting the rest. Ow! Really? At the very end of the level, you hit me with that. That's annoying. Okay, we should have an easier time with this here. Hopefully. Okay, forget about those guys, I guess. Get out of here, you. See, 167. I hope that's enough to get all the Electoons. We were just shy of a couple. Well, I guess that's another level that I'm gonna have to replay on my own time, so that we can get all the Electoons. I forget if we need every single Electoon to be able to access the last world of the game, but I will try to collect as many as I can. So, after we get for that one, let's head off to Shooting Me Softly. Interesting name for a level. We have made some pretty good progress here. We're able to rescue Hallelujah, and managed to make our way to our next flight level. It's lovely little variation here. If you're playing as Glowbox, instead of riding on the Mosquito is instead riding on Glowbox. And now Glowbox is the one doing all the shooting. It's a pretty funny little change compared to the other circumstances with Rayman. It's definitely pretty fun here. Those guys were in a bad spot. Also see is a section where inhaling enemies would be very good. Yeah, given all the stuff we gotta deal with around here, inhaling is a good way to deal with some of these guys. Obviously not that part. Okay, I actually forgot another detail with this area, that we can actually ricochet our shots if we have them hit that drum over there, allowing us to just smack those guys. Hit that valve to stop the wind. So yeah, a good chunk of this area is going to be spent ricocheting our attacks off the drums in order to hit things that we need in order to progress. Definitely makes this flight area a bit more involved than the last one we were at. Alright, gonna miss out on those birds, but that's fine. Alright, got a King Lum over here. Get all these goodies that we can get. Thank you. Alright, so over here we got some areas where we gotta hit those, like, metals, I guess. As the light here will, you know, keep those dark bugs from attacking us. Definitely another interesting set piece here. Definitely makes good use of the shooting mechanics where you have to activate these certain devices to be able to navigate through these spaces. Got those guys. Very good. What else can we see up here in the sky? It seems like we're actually out of the desert now. I wonder what else is ahead of us. Oh, it looks like we're going into an ice area next. So this is sure to be a cool area for us to explore. Ow. Yeah, I can tell this area is gonna be fun for us to go through. So we gotta break the ice with our shots to move forward. There's even Lums frozen in the ice, too. Just gotta be careful of that as we're going through here. We also got these big slices of fruit that we gotta watch out for. Just blast those guys, and we should be good. Whoa! Just gotta get through this collapsing cave. Yeah, I can tell this next area is gonna be fun for us to go through. Just look at this environment! It's like it's all icy, there's giant chunks of fruit all over the place. We are definitely gonna have a fun time going through here. And that clears another flight level. Alright, how do we do? Okay, we're just short of the metal, but we got all the Electoons, so we don't need to worry about that. Very good. Ah, that was a good romp through another flight level. And for that, we have cleared the Desert of Didgeridoos. And move on to the next area of the game. So, we'll be heading off to Gourmand Land in the next section of the game. But after clearing for that last area, I believe we are about done here for today. Certainly been a good session, and really excited for what we're going to be doing pretty soon. And hopefully it's not going to take too long between the last just with... What I'm trying to say here is we shouldn't have too much time between this session and the next one, because I actually do have another day off tomorrow, so we could do the next level of this game tomorrow. Yep, I'll definitely think about that in a bit, whether I'm feeling up for it. So yep, thank you for joining me in this leg of our adventures in Rayman Origins. Next time, we'll head off to Gourmand Land. Until next time, have a good day, and take care.